What's going on, guys? I'm Derek Harris here at HP Race Development, and I've got a video for you today to teach you how to install your GET CDI for your KTM 85, Husky 85, Gas 85, exact same procedure, KTM 125 or KTM 150, and your KTM 250 and 300 two-stroke. Let's get started on how to do this. First things first, you're going to want to pull your seat. That's step one. Congrats, you've accomplished step one. Yes, KTM uses Torx. It's annoying. Don't lose it. And then pop off the push it out. Luckily I can do that with one hand. And you'll pop this up and out. Included in your GET CDI box here from HP will be everything you need to install it on your bike. So we've got our GET CDI. This is the stock CDI, of course it's removed. Here's a mounting plate. This comes out of the stock CDI right here. We're going to show you how to do that. You've got your map switch and an extension loom. And then you have two zip ties here that will secure the CDI box to the mounting plate. There are also instructions included in your box. Those are not relevant to our maps. All of our details are included when you purchase a map from us. We typically do map 1 as a run-of-the-mill all-around power map, and we do map 2 horsepower map or max power map. Move these rubbers from the stock CDI. So what you need to do is we like to use a small flathead. There's a tapered end on the top side and a flat end. I find it's easier to take the tapered end through. So we like to push it down and in, push the screwdriver through, but don't puncture your rubber, and then just pull it out like this. As you can see, this wasn't that hard. Installation's a little bit harder than removal. So boom, there is your rubber. Now install that rubber into this plate. Dish soap, and then put a little bit of dish soap, liquid version, on the part. And this allows it to easily go in place and be lubricated, but then it will dry. And anytime you need to re-lubricate it, you can put a tiny amount of water on it and it will essentially rehydrate. It's a really good tip for doing any type of rubber bushing. Dab will do ya. So we've got a lot of dish soap on this one. I overdid it. I'm gonna get some of this on here and on this rubber grommet, and then we'll do it on the second rubber grommet. Now, of course, you can't barely handle it because it's so slippery. Front of the bike or the back of the bike, and this is how the plate goes. You want the tapered end of the bushing to be up, so it's gonna go this way. So what I like to do is start it as best I can by hand, like that. We're pushing the tapered end through, and voila, because of the soap and because I got lucky, it went right in. Sometimes you need to use your screwdriver and help get it in, but sometimes you don't. So we're gonna do this one as well. Probably gonna have to use a screwdriver. Oh, there it goes, and in. Make sure that the top is thoroughly around and seated, and then you can wipe everything off. The next step is we like to take our zip ties. Remember, going on the bike like this, and what we're gonna do is feed our zip tie through so that we can pull on it like this. So put your zip tie through the bottom, close the loop, and just loosely set it. Alrighty, so we're gonna move forward with more installation now. In your bag of goodies is the map switch. There's two components to your map switch. Component number one is the map switch. We're gonna put that up on the handlebar. Component number two is the extension loom. This allows you to connect your map switch to the CDI. A little secret for you guys, don't wish to run a map switch, but you still wanna be able to change maps. Then you can actually do it in the same manner that KTM, Gas, and Husky do it underneath here. So all you have to do is plug this into the CDI, route it to where you have access to this right here. And then if you want to go to map 2, take the two bullet connectors and you plug them into one another. Now that's map 2. If you want to go to map 1, you leave the bullet connectors unhooked. What you're going to want to loosen and take off, completely remove these bolts. Of course, I got butterfingers today. Wonderful me. Next up is the switch. Some people of you guys want to have it on the fly, meaning while you ride, you're able to adjust it. Some people will put it right here next to the thumb. I like to do it with the GET logo up. It doesn't matter however you wish to do it, but of course, this is how it was intended. So what we like to do is get it mocked up in position, make sure that we're able to do it and that we're able to route our cabling the way we want to go with no headaches, and that looks like a good location. My backing plate installed on the bars like so. I'm gonna pop my switch on, and then we're gonna start these bolts. Number 2 started. We've got this in location. Now I'd like to snug it up to where I want it. And now I can tighten the top. And boom. So now we have a nice solid switch. Next up, we're gonna want to tidy up our cabling. The kill switch wire along the clutch wire. Sometimes making things neat and tidy makes it much more challenging with your bars, to change your parts if you have a headache. So it's something you may want to consider whether or not you tie the lines together. In this case, I want a nice, neat, and tidy install. So I am gonna go ahead and tie it in to the same line. So one of the things you can do on this bike is route it through here. These you can just pinch and they work out. They're kind of a pain in the butt sometimes, but they're not that challenging. And we're gonna want to route our cable the same way. So I like to turn the bars both directions and just kind of get an idea of what we're going to do with our hose. I'm going to zip tie it up here with some small zip ties using these nice small black zip ties. Our cabling to the clutch and kill wire. So first, get it where you loosely cable it. So this is not tight yet. I'm going to do a second one. So we got it on here. Tighten her up, make sure that we get the slack that we want right here. Pull a little bit of cable through, I'm gonna tighten it up. Okay, now we got a little bit of play. You never want anything too tight, right? Anything too tight can get yanked or pulled or broken. So we'll clip these off, and then we've routed this wire down through the number plate behind the fork over here, this side of the fork, and it's up along the frame. We've got our little push button. Now that we've got our wire routed essentially where we want, we're gonna wanna finish the install. So what I like to do is I'll do one more zip tie right here. Too many of these, and if you ever need to change your bars or your parts or pieces, you're gonna be unhappy. You have to unclip all of them. Less is more sometimes. So we're doing 3 here. So I'm gonna leave this a little bit loose because what I wanna do now is install this over both 1 and 2. And remember, just slot it back into the frame. All you have to do is pitch and push. Done deal. Now I'm going to go ahead and tighten this up a little bit. Now we can snip it, and we're ready to move forward with the second part of our wire extension. This is the male, this is the female. There is a male and female. It can only go one way. Don't have to overthink it. All you got to do is find the one that matches and put it in. So this one goes here. Push thoroughly in. This to line up. Boom. We'll do this one. Same thing. Push thoroughly in. Nice, solid connection. Now I like to route them where the wiring harness goes. So as you can see, the harness goes up through here. So we're gonna mimic this wiring routing and get good at it. You can do this pretty quickly, pretty easily. And I also like to put it underneath here. And we have another plastic piece that holds all of these electronics in. So we're gonna route it all through that. Make it nice and tight. If you put it up and over, which is fine, the tank has to go past it, which makes it a little bit more challenging. So we like to put it underneath right here. That way, you don't have any headaches with the tank going on and sliding on right here. So this is loosely put in place. You're gonna have extra material. You can either wad that up down in here like this, or we'll do it up here where the CDI box goes so that we don't have any troubles and we have extra loom at the top. Get it underneath the OEM harness in this little slot. We'll put the OEM harness back above it. Now we're ready to click in our CDI. Rubber's already installed. You're gonna pop it over your 2 fittings, and then you're gonna get your Torx bolts, and you're gonna tighten down the Torx bolt. Clicks in, and then what I like to do is now that this is bolted down, this is in place, what we're going to do is snug these up. There's little slots where these cables go. I want my ends at the end of the box. So like this end, I like it over here in this corner. So I don't tighten it all the way yet. Need to position everything to where I'm happy with it. And then make sure everything's lined up. Snug her down. Pull tight. Alrighty. We're gonna snip these. And then I'm gonna route this, loop it around the CDI box up here like this. And I'm gonna click it in place. There's only one connector it fits on. This is a larger connector. You don't have to really overthink it. It's an installed GET CDI on your KTM. Snip these, we'll snip all the connections. I'm gonna finish my wiring underneath the seat. I'm gonna reinstall this and get everything tidied up and then put everything back together. So this tank goes on, side panels go on, seat goes on, and everything's ready to go. Now you're the proud owner and proud user of a GET CDI.